Hello, Iona College. Welcome back. We're rolling along with the show, and we've got what everybody in the game room wants to hear, our NBA segment. So we'll get right on to it. Last night, you had the New York Knicks losing to the Houston Rockets 109 to 106, and it was a pretty good game, honestly. I'm always a little critical of Carmelo Anthony, but he had a very nice game. He played a good game. I got to give him credit there. But once again, he made a very bad play at the end of the game, fouling Harden, where he just didn't understand the situation, and that's always been one of my critiques of Carmelo. He just doesn't have he's a very unsituational awareness of the game, and I think that you really need to have that if you have the expectations the Knicks have. So that's something to make note of, and it's nice seeing Jeremy Lin play well. I like Jeremy Lin. He's a clean, good guy, so it's nice to see him playing well, and he's played very well so far this season. And that's just the main takeaways from this. But as a Golden State Warriors fan, and I sit here in my Golden State Warriors gear, it was a fantastic game last night with a big finish. I'll play you the call from last night. It was a great finish. Oracle Arena was just unbelievable last night. You got the call right here. So as you know now, I mean, it just ended in a huge shot by Andre Iguodala. Nice shot. I mean, he's just been unbelievable, and that's why they brought this guy in. His veteran presence, and he makes the clutch plays that they need. The Warriors are a very young team, and you've seen so far a guy like Andre Iguodala. He knows how to win. It's just been fantastic. And I'm really excited watching this Warriors team. Rob, you were on the bandwagon. You like them you put them as your third best team in the West. I don't know if I put them that far, but you've been so impressed with this team.
Yeah, this team is really impressive, Joe. Iguodala really has been one of the greatest additions to this team.
Unbelievable.
This guy, when he first came to the NBA, he used to be the guy who would score 20 points a game, play with Allen Iverson. And now over the last couple of years, we've seen him develop into this smart IQ guy who's passing the ball, he's rebounding, he's scoring. And that's what I think is awesome for this Warriors team. I think he's a great passer, really needed. This Warriors team, Steph Curry's impressive. There was one point in the game where it was just him and Jeremy Lamb just going off shooting three-pointers and just hitting like crazy in the second quarter. David Lee and Andrew Bogut are crazy on the boards. Harrison Barnes is back from this injury. This Warriors team is going to be really impressive. And you know what? I'm sorry. I think I could see them going far this year in the West. I could see them going to maybe the conference championship in the West.
I mean, Rob, you've been right on the picking Golden State. You really evaluate this team pretty well. So whenever we get your insight on that, I'm definitely always opening up. Rob, let's go on to the New York Knicks now. A big talk this week has been about the Knicks' strategy to lure Kevin Love, and my main takeaway from that was I think it's all going to depend on where Melo and J.R. Smith are at that time. Because Kevin Love's a smart guy. I think a lot of smart basketball players realize when you play with Carmelo that your play is going to suffer because he's such a ball hog. I just think smart guys like Kevin Love realize that you're not going to win a lot of games that way. But I think it's a very enticing offer. I mean, New York's a great place to play. Kevin Love is going to get a lot more attention there than in Minnesota. I mean, I think if you ask a lot of NBA fans, they really don't see the Timberwolves too much. It's just not a big market team. And if you went to a place like New York, that's a good place to get some exposure. So from a Knicks fan perspective, I just want to get what your thoughts are.
I think Kevin Love would be a great addition. He's a great rebounder. He's better than David Lee. You know, when David Lee was on the Knicks, he always posted double-double. This guy puts up better numbers than him. But I think Melo would really have to change his game, and I also think it would have to be a new coaching atmosphere for this team. Woodson won't be able to coach Kevin Love and Melo together. I think you need to bring in a coach like Jeff Van Gundy. Or you have to see if you could lure someone, maybe if Greg Popovich, but he'll never leave the Spurs team, we know that. But you got to find a really good coach who knows an offense and defense right now. I think Love would love playing here, but Melo's hard to play with. Melo's a big ball hog, but I've seen improvement on his rebounding skills a little bit, so I'm a little bit impressed with Carmelo.
Great points there, but I just want to build off your Mike Woodson point. So I mean, you're not sold on him? You don't think he's the long-term guy there?
I'm not sold on him whatsoever. I used to like his Hawk teams that always were great defensively. This Knicks team has not shown any defense right now. And then the other day when I heard them saying they want to trade Shumpert away, it's like, why don't you just bring back Mike D'Antoni? That's the kind of team he'll run. They don't need defense. Shumpert's the only defensive piece on that team. But Woodson is definitely not a long-time coach. I really wish we had somebody like Jeff Van Gundy, someone who was smart when he used to coach the Knicks with that smart IQ of playing great defense.
Yeah, I think those are all valid points there. I really like your point about Iman Shumpert. I mean, that's been one of my main things I always say is he's really the only two-way player the Knicks have. I mean, he has a nice offensive game, but he's a very good defensive player. And the other day when you had the discussion of him being traded to the Nuggets for Kenneth Faried, I was really puzzled by that. I think he's a much better player than Kenneth Faried is. And when asked about it today, Shumpert just said, look, I can't do anything about the trade talks. And I think he's got the right attitude on there. And I like Shumpert a lot. I think he has a lot of upside. But this Knicks team right now is just, it really is a mess. But of course, we'll be talking Knicks all year, so that's our little Knick rant right there. And Rob, let's get into this. You have the NBA Christmas jerseys, and a lot of people have just been very disappointed with these, me included as being a huge jersey collector. I just don't like these jerseys. The sleeved NBA jerseys, I just don't think they're a good look, and I don't know why the NBA is pushing these so much. They look. I heard a lot of people. I've talked to some fans before, and they were saying these look like soccer jerseys, and they're not off on that point. I mean, they kind of do look like them, and I just think when you have an NBA jersey, it's got to look like the classic way it always has, and I just don't like these. I put them up on our Twitter page at SportsVaultIona, and you guys can check them out for yourselves, but I'm not too impressed. What are your opinions?
They look like warm-up shirts.
They do look like warm-up shirts.
If I were you, Joe, I would definitely not add this to my jersey collection.
No,
I know
Rob,
you.
That'll stay out of the closet.
But these jerseys are pitiful to look at. They don't even look like a real jersey. Since when do you not have a number on the front of a jersey? It's only going to be in the back.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the main logo on the front, basically, and then you have the number on the side. It's a weird design. It really is. I mean, I don't know how you're going to appeal to a market with these. I mean, the only long sleeve jerseys I've seen that are nice is the Los Angeles Clippers have a nice powder blue one. I'll put the picture up on that on our Twitter later for that, so you can see that as well. But I'm just not a big fan of the sleeve ones. Obviously, we're gonna have to deal with them this year, but hopefully next year around Christmas time, the NBA will start to figure out all our negative responses. Because last year I didn't think they were great. I think they took an even bigger step back this year, which is hard to do. So hopefully they'll start to pick it up. But that's just our thoughts on those jerseys. You can comment on Twitter at SportsVaultIona on our picture. Tell us what you think about them. But me and Big Shot Rob are just not too impressed. And the last thing for our NBA segment is in the headlines this week promoting NBA 2K14 for the PlayStation 4, which releases today. Michael Jordan was asked who his starting five was, and it surprised some people. It definitely surprised me. He said Scottie Pippen, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Hakeem Olajuwon, and of course himself. And I don't know. I was a little taken off by Scottie Pippen and Worthy being there. I was talking to my dad, who obviously got to see them play in the heyday, and he definitely didn't think that Scottie Pippen deserved on that list. I agree, and I always reiterate mine is LeBron, Magic, Michael, Wilt, and Karl Malone. I think obviously he picked Pippen because it was his teammate for so long. Worthy, he played with at North Carolina, so he's got a little bit of emotion there. Hakeem Olajuwon I thought was a weird one. I mean, I guess Michael played against him a lot and has a lot of respect for him. But I think if you're talking all-time centers, I might take a few over Hakeem. And obviously Michael deserves to be on the list, but I was a little surprised about that. What about you?
I kind of liked it. I didn't like Pippen on that roster. Olajuwon, though, Joe, is one of my favorite centers. When I look back at his old tapes, great blocker, always league lead in rebounder, a good scorer. So I think he belongs there. Magic Johnson, though, one of the top point guards all time. Michael Jordan there. James Worthy's great. But I'm not sold on Pippen, really. I think he just chose him because he played with him all those years. Did you heard about Avery Johnson's team that he picked to go against Michael's team yesterday?
No, let's hear that.
Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Larry Bird, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wow. That's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I think you gotta have Michael on there.
Yeah, you
You
definitely
gotta
need
have
Michael.
Michael.
I think Michael and LeBron though together, that'd be one phenomenal team.
Oh
Nobody
my
would beat
God,
them.
that'd be so much fun. LeBron's more like Magic, so he would just be finding Michael on the floor. I think they would play great together, and it's one of those things that's why you play games like NBA 2K14, because that's the only place that you can make things like that happen. But I mean, it's cool to think about, and that's just a little bit. That's all the stuff we have for the NBA, hitting on all corners there. When we come back, we've got our Iona College basketball weekend preview. We've got overall college basketball stuff, a lot of baseball stuff. So we'll be back with a ton of content, and stick with us.